What's up, boys? Back out here. Now I'm going to walk you through how I got this front mount intercooler hooked up, and it's kind of sort of pretty and looks like it fits perfectly. It wasn't like that. There's some fabrication that I had to do here and there. I couldn't find instructions on this anywhere. There's a couple people that put videos out, but it's like they would like drill holes and run brackets, and like I didn't want to drill a bunch of stuff on my car. I don't know how to explain it to you. Me and Adrian were just looking up how to hook this up when I first got it, and people were like drilling and just running like a threaded rod straight down to hook to these. The simplest way that I found out how to do it without having to drill is, do you see that black bracket right there where like your horns and stuff would usually hook to? Instead of having to drill into that or anything, if you flip that over, you get a hole right there where that bolt is. So you can take that bracket off that's behind this intercooler, flip it over, and put it back on. The only thing that'll be different is if you're running your horns, instead of your horns being up here at the top, they'll be down at the bottom now. So I don't even know if you got enough wire to do that. I don't have my horns hooked up right now. And then 3SX, when you hook this, when they send this to you, they give you these brackets. And as you can see, it just pretty much hooks right there. Just run a bolt there. I had to get smaller bolts than what they gave you because I didn't want to scrape, and it picked it up. And then I used my jack to like bend those brackets up with at the same time, so this is maxed out. And then as you can see, I had to drill that hole out just a little bit to get that bigger bolt in there. And then I had to put a nut on the back. Probably the three biggest issues that I had, I think I just had like someone on a bad day, because I haven't really seen anyone else have this issue that I had. 3SX welds these tabs on there, or maybe they have someone do it for you, so you can like bolt it. And the same thing here. Whoever welded my kit was just having a bad day or just didn't pay attention, because this is where it's welded at. I just ended up cutting it off. You see how the welds line up perfectly? It was like that. So where's that supposed to bolt to? It's supposed to be there, and you can run a bolt right to that hole and hold it, but it was just welded like 80 degrees off, and that would have made that point that way. Same thing with this right here. I don't even know if my hood's gonna shut. I might have to cut that off and re-weld it, because like here's the CX one. You can see where it's welded kind of like right in the middle. That was fine. I had this on and had my hood on and everything worked out. But that's like welded down here, and it brings it up a lot higher than where this was. It also doesn't help that I'm running those spacers on my intake manifold, bringing everything up. Another thing that I had to trim up was this piece back here that goes on your rear turbo. This was too tall. This is the CX one. I have the 3SX one back there. It was just a little bit too tall, so I just took like a flap wheel and sanded this down an 1/8 inch, and it fit perfectly. And to make this nice and pretty over here, I ended up cutting that all out. If you remember before, there's like those little half circles there for like your stock pipe and your AC unit. You can see I just took a saw and cut it out, and then I sanded the corners down so it wouldn't like cut into anything. Even though it looks like it's hitting that coupler right now. It wasn't. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix that. Cut that out a little bit more. And then once you run over to your intake, your cold side, my biggest problem over here is that I can't run my fuse box because it hits. So like if it was bolted in right there, you see how it hits right there? That bracket that usually goes here, so there's usually a bracket that goes to the body and then comes up and hooks to the bottom of this. I had to remove this. I could not get it to fit. I had to remove this whole bracket, and what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to take a saw and cut this whole ear off right here so it can bolt in and not touch that. You see, if I just cut that ear off, it would go back down flat, because right now it's at like too sharp of an angle for it to like line up with the holes. If I would cut that ear off, I could get it to sit like this again. And then this right here, I don't know if it's that big of a deal anymore, because everyone was wrapping these or running them underneath. This is now a charge pipe. This comes from the turbo this way, then goes into the intercooler, so it gets cooled down before it goes in there. before, when you have the side mounts, this is your cold pipe. So it comes down this side, goes into the side mount intercooler, then comes back out here. You're just reheating the air again. So whoever wins these, I would wrap that. Or there's that guy that makes a pipe that'll run underneath, which I think I still might do, just to keep these intake depths down some more. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to walk you guys through how I hooked up the intercooler, because I've had a couple of you guys ask me how to do it or how I did it, or you guys say you guys ordered this kit and it wasn't fitting, and one of you guys even said you returned it because it just wasn't working out for you. That's how I did it. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I did. That's probably the biggest hiccup right there, is that mine was welded in the wrong spot, because that took forever. Because if I lined that hole up, this pipe, instead of facing this way, it was facing back towards the wheel, but it never worked. But there you go. Leave it down in the comments if you guys have any questions. I'll do my best to answer them. Everything else worked out great with the front mount, because I was going back and forth for like 2 or 3 days, wondering if I was going to have to start drilling into my car, which I ended up cutting up my car, so I don't know which one's worse. I mean, by the time I sit here and I cut all that out, I probably should have just drilled some holes. But I didn't want to have big holes sitting right here. But it's definitely worth it. I mean, if you want to make over like 480 horsepower, I don't know how much horsepower people have gotten from side mounts, but my intake temps were way too hot, especially with the kit that I'm giving away, with that charge pipe coming up over this way, or that cold side. Because this used to just get blistering hot even after the intercooler, because we would just have a fan right there on that side mount. It was still 160 degrees by the time it hit the intake temp sensor, which is right here. That's another thing too. A couple of you guys are asking me where my intake temp sensor is even at. It's right here. It's right before the throttle body. So I can't actually measure the temp in here right now, but I can see what it is going into there. But yeah, man, I would 100% say it's worth it. The only downside is cutting up that corner over there. There's no way you can run this kit and your AC. I mean, maybe someone's gotten away with it, but your AC unit usually sits right there. I don't think so. I don't think you can do it. I really, really don't. Leave it down in the comments if you got a front mount and you're running your AC. Let me know how you did it. But yeah, there you go, boys. Don't forget to hit that like button. It's just a short one today. I was doing really good at putting 2 videos out a week. I've just been busy with other stuff right now. Some family things have been going on. But I'm going to try to do my best to get back to doing twice a week. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you're interested in anything about this car, the whole build, all how-tos, step-by-steps, everything is on my channel. From pistons, rings, rods, bearings, cams, the whole engine rebuild, down to even sanding and painting the engine bay is on my channel. So go check that out if you're interested in it. I will see you guys in the next one. I should be ripping on this thing. I want to take it out. I want to compare the vr4 against the Huracan, because I think the vr4 is faster now. I'm not even going to lie to you. With that 600 foot-pounds of torque, it feels snappier. I don't even know what that torque is. Let me look that torque up real quick. Man, I just looked it up. That thing says it's only putting out 398 foot-pounds of torque, and I'm sure that's to the flywheel. This thing's putting out 600 foot-pounds of torque to all 4 wheels. This thing's, but it also is like double the weight. It's at least 1,000 pounds heavier. So I don't know. I want to do a video on that. The only reason why I haven't done it yet is because I kind of ran into a problem with finding fuel. I talked about this a couple videos ago, that the reason why I went with 110, because I could get 110 at the airport, which is right up the street from me. Well, my county, the government, you gotta love them, has made it illegal to buy fuel from an airport unless you own an aircraft. So now I gotta go like an hour south to pick up jugs of fuel, because the station that actually sells the fuel, it's also illegal to put 110 in your vehicle. You have to buy jugs. I'm sure they want it to be like off-road use or something like that, I guess. So that's why I haven't really been driving this thing. I only got a little over half a tank of 110. I really don't want to switch back to the 93 map yet. But yeah, man, I think that'll be a cool video comparing those two. But all right, boys, I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed. See ya.